All right, Jeremy here, Jeeps Unlimited, partsbreakers.com, 303-666-9020. I swear it's a revolving cold or sickness around here. I just came home from the East Coast, left sick, got better while I was gone, came home, I have toddlers, and within 2 days picked up something. So my throat is a little bit sore right now. I apologize. I'm probably a little bit monotone, but it's just as good as it gets. And for now, at least, and showing you a 97-01 TJ tub. Clearly, I missed a big old spot of dirt, so that's a bummer. Probably have to fire the washer back up. I don't like to show my tubs dirty because I feel like it hides stuff. So a couple little things on this guy. It's got a good-sized dent in the back here. It's accessible. I always like to tell you if it's accessible or not. When I say accessible, I'm talking that you can repair it from the other side. You have access to it. If it's in an area like down in that channel there, we consider that a boxed in area. Still fixable, especially by a body shop, but for the normal Joe Schmo off the road, off the street, I guess is the same, a little bit more difficult, as it's a blind hole. Either you cut into it, fix it, or pull it from the outside. There's ways of doing that. This isn't a body shop class, and I'm not a body shop tech, so I'm not going to go over all that stuff. So hopefully you have the capabilities of fixing that, or you don't care, or you're going to put armor on it. Okay, something or the other. So the only other area on this guy is here, and it's on the lower rocker. I've been doing this for 20 years. This is a really, really nice tub, but that is kind of a weird spot. Now, this was a Sahara, which meant that it had the clad molding all over it, and you can see where it was down there. That's why some broken screws there cut off. We usually have my guys cut them off. So if you're going back with a Sahara, great. If you're not, do note that you'll have a couple extra little screw holes there you'll fill in. Those aren't hard to do, but I'm telling you that because that's the only rhyme or reason I can see why that might have started to bleed through like it did there. This tub is really solid. There's really no other rust on it. It's got a little bit of surface, a little bit of oxidized. And when I say surface, difference between my surface rust, at least in my definition, and oxidation, this has definitely got surface in it. It's actually got a little rot in it. Okay, it's bleeding through both sides. Surface rust hasn't quite usually bled all the way through, but you are getting layers of flaking, lost integrity of the steel, okay? And then oxidation is literally bare metal, that flash rust. That right there is flash rust. That's oxidation of the metal. We don't have salt on our road, so our tubs typically don't rust unless you get someplace that traps something in it, sand, whatnot, and becomes an abrasive. And that can happen in torque pockets, but it's not super common here in the West. So that there, like I said, a little bit odd, especially because it's only on one side, but nonetheless, it's discounted for that, as well as that back area. And I'll flip it up here in a second to show you that from the other side so you can get a good idea of what it's going to take for you or you to pay somebody else to fix it. Obviously, these aren't, they're not super expensive considering what they are and what you're getting, but they're not super cheap either. So we want to get you the best bang for your buck. And if nothing else, we want you to see exactly what you're getting. That's the whole point of this video. So you can see this tub as if you're standing right next to me. So this one is perfect on this side. It's got some scratches on it, but it's overall a very clean tub as far as the paint condition goes. There's no rust on that side whatsoever. You saw the same holes, again, that clad molding, because this was a Sahara. So the all tubs, when I flip it up, you'll see they all have the tabs on the bottom to hold the clad molding, but not all of them have the holes in them, and that really just depended if it had that molding trim on it or not. And again, it's a Sahara, you can see that there. So it's a 9701. It will work on an 02 pretty easily, and then 03 to 06 it will work as well, but your rear seat changes drastically in the 03 model. So I usually steer people in one or the other. The 02 can be a flexible tub for either or, but you still have an 02 the issue with the rear seat being different. So, but in the early years, the 02 matches the rear seat. That's the same. So 9702 is the rear seat, and really the only difference on the rear seat, it is a nicer seat in the later years. So if you wanted to go to that and wanted a later tub, voila, there you go. But all the base mounts for a 03 to 06 for the seat itself are on the floor, on the bottom. It's got 4 points on the bottom, and these ones tie in. And I have a video that shows all this up close and personable, 2 tubs showing you next side by side. But these ones have 2 in the front and then 2 on the side wall of the fender well. So, okay. And then this is, of course, dirt that didn't get wiped off or didn't get washed off. And there's a little bit down here. So Let me flip her over on its side. You're going to see the sky here for a moment. All right. And that's probably why I missed the spot, because I washed this. You can't see it all there, but there's the dirt there. Okay, so no rust in there, no rust in this one. The seams are in really good shape. I always like to show those because usually when rust starts appearing, it starts being at these pinch welds. Okay, and these are really clean. This is really clean. So we'll go over my typical when I do tubs, show you all the crucial points, at least in my opinion. And those are usually the torque pockets, right? So that's what holds your frame to your tub. And in some areas, they're easier to fix if you had to than other areas. For example, these are in really good shape, that one and this one. But if you had to fix this one, this would be the easiest ones to fix. This is a fully boxed in area. You can see how clean the threads are in there. Nothing wrong with it. The skirting gets a little beat up, but you can bang this back out. The main point here, this is nice and clean, nice and straight. A little scratch right there, but if you're going for green, you get green scratches on that guy. The corners are excellent shape on this though. This is where your license plate goes and where your tail light goes there. Let's see. Then you have this guy. So we're gonna count them off. I always do that in all these. There's 10 of them in total. There's actually 11, but one's on the front clip. So we're not gonna have that one obviously on a tub. We do sell front clips, so if you need a front clip, just let us know. Okay, so we got 1. And then of course the second one I showed you there, there's that one. And then 3, and this one's clean too, but it's got a little dirt in there. You can see it kind of falling out. And I didn't hit the washer very well. And then 4, again, nice clean shiny threads in there, okay? And these are supposed to move. They're captured nuts, so there's an area they can move. That's actually good. I had a guy once, he welded these in place and then call us and tell us he couldn't get his tub to align. Then he told me what he did. I'm like, yeah, not what you're supposed to do. Those are actually help you kind of align everything. Supposed to be a little wiggle room. Not all of them do that, but those back 4 do. And sometimes on a YJ, your front one will, but these ones are all fixed here. So, okay, so 4, 5, and take a look at this, okay? This is one of the big things. Okay, 5 and then 6, again here. And I'll tell you why I'm showing you this part here. 6 and then 7. Nice clean there, okay? And no cracking, no nothing. So we'll come back to the bottom here in just a second. Those are clean too, but I'll show you. I had a tub that I put up yesterday. You can take a look at on YouTube channel. And it's clean too, except for you're starting to see a little bit of bleed out here where the rust is starting to show up. This is a really, really common area to collapse. We call it, this whole torque pocket starts literally sinking in and eventually cracks all the way around and pushes itself through. That's repairable. That's why we solicit it. But what happens a lot is that happens and then the bolt breaks and now you're dealing with a floating captured nut, and really in order to fix that at that point, you're gonna have to cut it out. So we like to see them like this. This is in very, very, very clean shape. That whole torque pocket channel, which we rarely cut out of our tubs unless we get a bad one. We do have one set in right now. And if you had no other issues, your tub sides were great, your floors were excellent, I would say, okay, maybe then. I usually don't even recommend it then because you still have to pull the tub. And you can do it. I've seen guys do it where they'll cockeye one up, but you see how invasive it gets to get these out. And when we cut them out, we give you a couple inches on both sides. The way these are actually installed is they're spot welded in. So to do it right, once you get what we send you, if you were to go that direction, you drill out, you find all your spot welds here, drill them out. There's a lot of them. There's not like 5 that hold this thing on. There's probably like 40 that hold each of these on. So it takes a lot of time to do. And that's where it really comes in. It's, you know, if you're doing the work and the tub is beautiful, it's your color, blah, 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 then maybe it's worth doing. Usually when you get a shop involved, that amount of work usually will outweigh to have them swap the tub over for you. It just depends, again, who you're dealing with. So, okay, those are those tabs that I said. All TJs are gonna have these tabs, all of them, okay? Now, whether they're being used or not will depend if it's a Sahara or another trim package they did that had the clad molding. There's the little holes there, and they're filled in right now, which you could just shave off and leave those probably in there, clean them up a little bit, grind them down, and use that to fill the hole since it's there if you're not going to be using them. If you're going to be putting any kind of rocker panels, guards on them, steps, a lot of times they will go up into this area here. So you may not need to do much, but do know they're there. So I don't want anybody getting any surprises there, okay? And then we'll finish up with these. You got 8, 9, and 10. And again, absolutely no sign of any collapsing, cracking, rust, nothing in these. So if this tub didn't have that, there's that issue right there I showed you on the other side. So you can see it. So again, this is an area you can get to from both sides, but I do want to be very clear. This is a side you're seeing rust here, and you're seeing rust on the other side, which I call rot, okay? Some people, oh, this is surface rust. Well, why is it on this side and that side? Okay, that's cancer to me. That needs to be completely treated, cut out, and mitigated. Otherwise, obviously, you can cut this out and fill it in with filler, but you really, really got to get in there. And again, I'm not a body guy, but I've seen it done, and just make sure that you're not filling in holes where you're potentially packing rust in there, because it's just going to do the same thing, and you're going to continually having this bleed out on it. So if I was going to replace anything, it'd be right there on a tub, because it's just an area that usually is going to be banged up. Even on our grade A's, this area is skirting here, the lower rocker gets pretty banged up. So that's nice and straight, but it is a repair job nonetheless. So okay, and that's what the kind of quality you're gonna expect from what we consider a B grade tub. Now I got a guy that's calling me like 100 freaking times. I've already talked to him a few times today, and he keeps calling while I'm doing his phone. We're actually closed right now. I know that sounds insensitive, but he was asking questions that I didn't know earlier on a GM setup. We're not a GM yard. Unfortunately, this is my scope of expertise of use, as I call it, useless knowledge, is Jeeps. I have a very, very select knowledge with any other brands. I mean, I know enough with diesels and blah, 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 but I will never sit here and tell you I know everything about a GM truck, which is what he was asking about. So I kind of referred him off to somebody else I know that does that, but clearly they didn't answer the phone because he's calling me 100 times after. So anyway, yeah. And his call coming again. So I probably am going to have to answer. He's probably going to continue to call. So I'm not telling you not to keep calling me, guys. I'm just saying that if I don't answer in the first ring, it does go to my voicemail. Leave me a voicemail. And I promise at some point in the next couple days, unless I'm on a trip, I'll call you back. It doesn't happen right away. We're a big yard, 7 acres, okay? And we got 5 guys out here, which is a lot of guys. Trust me, I feel the payroll every 2 weeks. But nonetheless, they're all busy doing stuff. So I'm the only one that's answering the phones and juggling all that stuff on the sales side of things. So you just got to be a little patient, but we definitely, and then I got our O'Reilly's parts guy up here. He's the Yibber Yabber of the Year award here. Nice guy, but boy, I always have to be up there when he comes in with Jerry, because he'll get my mechanic talking, and hour will go by and not much happens. So there. Okay, I got to stop whining. All right, 303-666-9020. I appreciate you taking a look and hanging out with us. It's actually warm out today, which is awesome. Hopefully I start feeling a little bit better. I am going to post a couple more tubs as much as my voice will let me do it tonight. I got a white one I'm going to put up for a customer, and it's going to be another B grade, maybe. Not A, definitely. I don't think it's a C. So, and I'll just touch on that real quick. So A's, B's, and C's, okay? A's, you're still going to have possibly damage on them. So like that corner down there, that could still be on an A. It would be a low A, and you'd get a discount for it nonetheless, but it would still be considered an A if there was nothing else wrong with it. If it had 2 or 3 of those on it, it'd definitely fall into a B. This one goes into a B really for that and for that there. So if it didn't have that, I'd still be grading this tub fairly high. You can see the floors on that driver's side. Like I said, that's all surface. And this is an area that's a little harder to see, but you would get a little bit of bleed through here. This all looks really clean. These are just a drain plug here, and I don't know what they're made out of, but not the best material. I usually pop these out when I own the Jeep, but they're all over the place too. You can pull them out of here. They have the normal drain plugs too, but if you're going to be going through water or having no top on it, highly advise having those pulled. Yeah, I don't think I need to talk anymore. Okay, thanks guys.